Look at the being who shares your home, the one whose steady breathing you hear in the quiet of the night, the one whose gaze meets yours with a depth that words cannot hold. We have a name for this relationship. We call it owner and pet. But I invite you to quiet your mind and for a moment, let these labels fall away. Imagine that this familiar presence is not an animal you chose, but a guide who chose you. Imagine that their presence in your life is not a coincidence, but a sacred appointment, a silent master who has come to teach you lessons your soul is ready to learn. What we are about to explore is not a simple story. It is a journey into an ancient understanding, a wisdom that flows like a deep river beneath the surface of our world. We will learn to see not with our eyes, but with our heart. If this path of inquiry resonates within you, I invite you to walk with us. A simple like is an acknowledgement of our shared path, and by joining our circle and enabling notifications, you ensure that you will not miss the wisdom that is yet to unfold. There is a truth that has been passed down through ancient lineages of wisdom, a truth revealed by a humble man who, in a state of deep sleep, could touch that great river of knowledge. This truth is simple, yet it changes everything. Every Zen companion has a unique purpose, a sacred mission in the life of their human. They are not merely pets. They are guardians of the spirit, cloaked in fur. Their loyalty is not a simple instinct born of domestication. It is a pact, a commitment of the soul, made long before they took their first breath in this world. This connection is not built on physical need alone. It flows through a deeper channel. It is a connection of energy, of spirit. Have you ever stopped to wonder why this specific being entered your life at that exact moment? Among all the souls in all the world, why did your paths cross? And why do they possess that unique spirit, that particular set of quirks, that precise way of being that touches your life so deeply? An ancient wisdom teaches that there are no accidents on the spiritual path. There is only a perfect design, a sacred purpose disguised as unconditional love. Let us pause, still the mind. Remember the story of your first meeting. Perhaps you walked into a shelter with no intention, only to find your gaze locked with one who would not let you go. Perhaps a lost soul appeared at your door, as if guided by an unseen hand. Or perhaps you resisted for months, for years, until an inexplicable shift in your heart made space for them. Do you truly believe this was chance? The teaching reveals a profound truth. You and this soul knew each other before, long before you met in this physical realm. You share a bond that water cannot wash away and time cannot erode. In the spaces between lives, in the great expanse of spirit where we prepare for our journey into form, we make agreements. We form soul contracts with those who will be our family, our friends, our teachers. And yes, with those who will be our guardians. Before we enter this world to learn and to grow, these Canaan souls make a choice. This understanding did not come from a place of speculation. It flowed through a man born on a simple farm, a man who lived an ordinary life until he discovered an extraordinary capacity. His name was spoken as Edgar Cayce, but his true identity was a conduit, a bridge. He found that by quieting his conscious mind, he could access a universal stream of information. For over 40 years, his sleeping self brought forth more than 14,000 documented readings, offering healing, foreseeing events, and revealing the soul's long journey through time. Doctors verified his insights. Strangers confirmed his precognition. Scientists studied him, but the mechanics of the mind could not explain the wisdom of the soul. He was known as the sleeping prophet, for the knowledge was not his. A higher intelligence spoke through him, a clear and steady voice from beyond the veil. And it was this voice that shared the sacred truth about our Canaan companions. The information was consistent. It was specific. It spoke of how different life forms carry different spiritual purposes on earth. It explained how certain souls are drawn together by an ancient resonance. And it revealed that our animal companions often serve as bridges, holding a space between the world we see and the worlds we have forgotten. But among them, the dog holds a unique place. According to this stream of wisdom, They are the only beings who made a conscious pact with humanity. Not merely a contract for survival, but a deep spiritual accord. They chose to walk beside us. They chose to weave their evolution into our own. They sacrificed a part of their untamed nature to become our companions on the spiritual path. This is a sacred contract. It is a promise that echoes across lifetimes. What makes this revelation so profound is that it came decades before our modern science began to explore the emotional worlds of animals. It described truths of the heart that science would only begin to mapping 50 years later. The wisdom explained that dogs possess a heightened energetic sensitivity. They feel the subtle currents that we have forgotten how to sense. They can perceive spiritual presences, see the shifts in a person's energy field, and feel the shape of events to come. A dog knows when its mission with a soul is complete, the teaching explains. It also knows when its time in a body is coming to an end. This knowing is not sadness. It is the fulfillment of a purpose. It is the completion of a sacred task. During these readings, it was often mentioned how dogs serve as spiritual mirrors. If a soul needs to learn the true nature of loyalty, a dog of unwavering devotion will find its way to them. If the lesson is patience, a more spirited and independent guide may appear. If there are deep wounds of the heart that need healing, a dog with a profoundly gentle and soothing nature will arrive. This wisdom was delivered with the same quiet certainty as a diagnosis for the body. Because in this understanding, there is no separation between healing the body and understanding the soul. It is all one interconnected reality, a single, seamless tapestry of spirit. And today, we are ready to receive this knowledge, not just as a curious fact in our minds, but as a living truth in our hearts. Prepare to truly see the being who shares your life. For they knew you long before you knew them. They chose you. In a session that stirred the hearts of all who were present, the sleeping prophet explained that canine souls select their human families from the spiritual realm. They study our needs. They understand the lessons our souls have come here to learn. And they prepare themselves to serve us in the precise way we require. This means the dog in your life is not simply an animal you decided to bring home. It is a soul that accepted a sacred assignment to aid in your spiritual unfolding. It knows your shadows. It knows your deepest fears. It knows the old wounds you carry. And it arrived with the perfect temperament, the perfect energy to help you bring light to those places. Consider the unique spirit of your companion. If it is fiercely protective, perhaps your soul's lesson involves learning to feel safe and to trust the flow of life. If it is endlessly playful, perhaps you are being invited to rediscover joy, to let go of the weight of the world and remember how to simply be. If its nature is calm and serene, perhaps your own soul is calling out for stillness, for a pathway back to inner peace. But this connection flows even deeper. The wisdom reveals that many dogs are souls of companions we have known before, in other lifetimes. They return to continue the sacred work that began long ago. The recognition is of the soul, and it is immediate. There is a familiarity that does not need to be built, a trust that is already present, for the roots of your connection run deep into the soil of past lives. Have you ever felt this? A feeling that you have known this being far longer than the calendar suggests. This is not imagination. It is the memory of the soul awakening. The signs are clear to a heart that is open. Your dog may react to certain places as if it remembers them. It may carry fears or affinities that have no basis in its current life. It may possess skills or habits that seem innate, as if they were carried from a life lived before. The teaching goes further, revealing that some of Eni's companions are human souls, souls who chose to incarnate in this form to serve a specific person. These are the old souls in a dog's form, the ones with a human-like wisdom in their eyes, the ones who show a profound capacity for compassion, who seem to understand the complexities of your heart. These souls, the prophet explained, make a great sacrifice. They set aside the human experience, with all its possibilities for individual growth, to serve as a pure anchor of spiritual support for another. It is an act of love so deep It is rarely understood. This explains why some dogs seem to grasp complex emotions, why they demonstrate such sophisticated empathy, why they sometimes seem to be trying to teach us something important through their quiet example. The timing of their arrival is also never an accident. Your companion walks into your life at the precise moment you need them. It may be during a period of great challenge, or just before a major transformation. It may be when you are about to face a lesson that requires the exact support that only they can provide. This perfect timing is part of the divine unfolding that guides all of our lives. Nothing is random. Every meeting has a purpose. Every connection has a meaning. The mission of these souls in our lives is among the most sacred. They come to be living teachings of unconditional love, of loyalty beyond reason, of forgiveness that does not keep score, of the simple joy of being present in this moment now. But they also come to protect us energetically, to help us heal wounds we thought were long forgotten, and to hold us steady as we take the next step on our spiritual journey. When you look at your companion now, you are not just seeing an animal, you are seeing a spiritual being who chose to align its path with yours. You are seeing a courageous soul who accepted the mission to stand with you, in light and in shadow, in stillness and in storm. Why does your dog sometimes seem to be protecting you from something you cannot see? Why does it grow restless in certain places? Why does it appear to sense things before you are even aware of them? The answer lies far beyond simple animal instinct. It resides in their sacred role. They are spiritual guardians disguised as pets. While humanity, on its long journey, has allowed its natural spiritual senses to fall dormant, these beings have kept theirs awake and clear. They can see, feel, and perceive dimensions of reality that our rational minds have learned to filter out, and they use this sensitivity to protect us in ways we may never fully comprehend. Dogs serve as spiritual sentinels, the ancient wisdom explains. They can detect the presence of dense, negative energies. They can even perceive non-physical entities that linger near our world. This means that when your dog barks at an apparently empty corner of a room, it is not barking at nothing. It is responding to something that is there, but that exists outside your spectrum of perception. This ability to see beyond the physical veil is one reason they were held as sacred in so many ancient traditions. But their protection goes beyond a simple alarm. They act as living energetic shields. They have the ability to absorb negativity directed towards their human companions, transmuting these dense energies within their own auric field. A dog, the teaching revealed, can absorb a vast amount of the discordant energy meant for its person. They do this consciously. It is a part of their mission. It is a service performed out of a love that asks for nothing in return. This insight illuminates why some dogs develop mysterious illnesses, ailments that sometimes mirror the emotional or physical struggles of their owners. They are not simply falling ill. They are, in a very real sense, taking on and processing toxic energies to shield their human family. This spiritual protection can be understood on 3 levels. The first is a basic energetic guardianship. Every dog naturally establishes a protective field around its home and family. They can feel when a person approaches with negative intent long before that person reaches the door. This is why a dog may become agitated by the approach of certain individuals. The second level is protection against unseen entities. Dogs can perceive and interact with spirits and energetic forms that inhabit the dimensions closest to ours. They serve as a natural barrier, deterring spiritual influences that might seek to disrupt the harmony of the home. The third level is an advanced psychic protection. Certain dogs, especially those with a deep soul connection to their human, can intercept deliberate psychic attacks or consciously directed negative thoughts. They absorb this energy and neutralize it before it can reach its intended target. What makes this guardianship so profound is that it is offered freely. They are not compelled to serve this role. They choose it. It is an expression of the spiritual contract made before this life began. A dog's loyalty is not instinct, the sleeping prophet explained. It is spiritual commitment. They made a promise to protect and to serve, and they will honor that promise until their very last breath. This understanding reframes so many behaviors we misinterpret. When your dog dislikes a certain person, it is not being antisocial. It is detecting an energetic dissonance, a quality in that person's field that could be harmful to you. When it insists on sleeping in your room or on your bed, it is not being spoiled. It is maintaining its post. It is standing watch during your most vulnerable hours sleep. During sleep, our energetic field becomes more open, more porous to external influence. Dogs know this intuitively, and they heighten their vigilance. This is why many report their dogs become more alert at night, even when there is no audible disturbance. The ancient wisdom also reveals that dogs can feel negative events that are taking shape. They perceive the shifts in the energetic field that precede accidents, illnesses, or crises. This is why they may sometimes display anxious or unusual behavior, as if trying to warn us of something we cannot yet see. They see the future's potential in the currents of the present, the prophet explained. An agitated dog may be trying to sound an alarm about something that has not yet manifested in the physical, but is already forming in the field of energy. This ability to anticipate is one of their most advanced forms of protection. They do not just react to present danger. They help us prepare for what is to come. Now that you understand that your companion is a spiritual guardian, it is time to learn the language of their signs. Every behavior that seems strange or without cause has a deeper meaning. Your dog is in constant communication with you, speaking about realities you may not perceive. But first, an important invitation. For those who feel a calling to consciously shape their own reality, to manifest their deepest desires, there is a path of practice, a challenge of quantum thinking, a journey of 21 days to retune the mind, elevate your energetic frequency, and unlock your true potential. If you wish to begin this practice, the path can be found in the first pinned comment. Let us now return to the silent language of our guardians, beginning with the most common and misunderstood sign, barking at empty space. When your dog barks at a corner where you see nothing, it is seeing something you cannot. The ancient teaching explained that dogs can perceive spiritual presences, fields of residual energy, and even the emotional imprints left by intense events of the past. Every place holds energetic memories. Dogs can read these memories as if they were an open book. They bark to give notice, to clear energies that might negatively affect their companions. If your dog persistently barks at the same spot, be aware. It may be a place where trauma occurred. It could be a point where the veil between worlds is thin. The way your dog barks also has meaning. Short, insistent barks often indicate an alert to a physical presence. Long, deep barks may signal a warning about negative spiritual energy. Sharp, quick barks can be an alarm about an imminent danger. Another common mystical sign is the refusal to enter certain spaces. If your dog consistently avoids a particular room or becomes uneasy in a certain area, it is sensing something. Dogs are like living detectors of energy, the teaching explained. They immediately feel when a space is charged with negativity or when there are unwelcome presences. If your dog refuses to enter a place, honor its intuition. This is an invitation to perform an energetic cleansing. Light a white candle, burn cleansing herbs, or simply offer a prayer for protection and purification of the space. Have you ever noticed your dog staring intently at something you cannot see? It may hold perfectly still, its gaze fixed on a single point, as if watching something of great interest. When this occurs, it is likely observing a spiritual presence. It could be a protective spirit, a loved one who has passed on, or simply a movement of energy. The dog's reaction is the key. If it is calm and curious, the presence is likely benevolent. If it becomes tense or fearful, it may be something that needs to be cleared. Those moments when your dog approaches you for no apparent reason, insisting on being close, also carry a message. The teaching revealed that dogs can feel when our energy is unbalanced or when we are experiencing a form of psychic interference. They draw near to offer immediate protection. Their physical presence strengthens our own auric field and helps us repel negative influences. The next time your dog comes to you with insistence, even if you did not call, pause. Check in with your own inner state. Were you feeling anxious, worried, thinking negative thoughts? Your companion sensed your need for energetic support. Overprotective behavior is also an important sign. If your dog suddenly begins following you everywhere, sleeping at your door, or becoming more wary of strangers, it may be sensing that you are in a period of spiritual vulnerability. This often occurs during times of great change, emotional stress, or when we are making pivotal life decisions. Our energy becomes more open, and our dogs instinctively heighten their level of protection. Feel free to share in the space below what is the most unusual behavior you have witnessed in your dog. Let us explore together what they might have been communicating. Even food can be a spiritual indicator. A dog that suddenly loses its appetite or changes its eating habits may be absorbing negative energies from its environment or from its humans. They can literally lose the desire to eat when they are engaged in heavy energetic work to protect their family. The ancient wisdom taught that when a dog loses its appetite for no apparent medical reason, we must ask ourselves what is happening emotionally within the home. Are there conflicts, unresolved stress, dense energies that need to be cleared? Sleep patterns are also revealing. A dog that sleeps far more than usual may be processing negative energies it has absorbed. During sleep, they transmute these energies and purify their own field. Conversely, a dog that is restless at night, that cannot settle down, may be detecting intense spiritual activity in the environment. It is keeping watch to protect the family during this time of increased vulnerability. Perhaps the most touching behavior the teaching described is when a dog begins to show excessive, unprompted affection. It becomes more tender, seeks more contact, wants to be as close as possible. They often do this when they sense their mission with a person is drawing to a close. It is as if they know their shared time is limited, and they wish to fill every remaining moment with love. This knowledge gives us a beautiful responsibility to pay attention, to listen with our hearts to the constant, silent messages our companions are sending. This journey of understanding is just beginning. Edgar Cayce discovered that these beings not only protect us, they serve as perfect mirrors for our soul. Every trait, every behavior, every challenge your dog presents is reflecting something specific about your own inner landscape. Dogs are a direct reflection of their human's inner state. The Prophet revealed in a session that left everyone in a profound silence. They are an external manifestation of what we need to see in ourselves, but often cannot. This means your dog is like an open book about your own soul, its qualities, its flaws, its fears, its needs for healing. All of it is being mirrored through the personality and behavior of your canine companion. Let's begin with an example that may change your perspective. Truly aggressive dogs are rarely found with genuinely aggressive people. More often, they are with people who are suppressing their own anger or assertiveness. The dog becomes the outward expression of the energy the human will not or cannot express. So, if you live with a dog that is territorial or overly protective, pause. Ask your heart, where in my life do I feel my space is being invaded? Where do I need to set clear boundaries? Where am I failing to protect my own emotional energy? The ancient teaching explains that our dogs come into our lives already possessing the perfect personality to shine a light on our blind spots. Let us explore some of the most common mirrors. Anxious dogs often appear in the lives of people who are struggling with their own anxiety, even if it is hidden beneath a calm exterior. They come to teach us to relax, to trust the flow of life, and to release our grip of excessive control. They invite us to cultivate our own inner peace. Fearful dogs, those who are afraid of everything, often mirror our own repressed fears. They are a living picture of how fear can paralyze us and prevent us from living with an open heart. By helping our companion heal their fear, we learn to heal our own. Stubborn dogs are wonderful teachers for those of us who resist change. They mirror our own inflexibility, They teach us that we cannot always control everything, that sometimes we must learn to yield, to flow with what is. Needy dogs, those who constantly seek attention, often reflect our own unacknowledged emotional needs. They show us how our own desire for approval and affection can become unbalanced. In learning to provide true security for our dog, we learn how to provide it for our own inner self. Very independent dogs often find their way to people who struggle with intimacy and emotional connection. They teach us about the delicate balance between freedom and relationship, autonomy and communion. But the most profound mirror is seen in how a dog's physical ailments can reflect their human's emotional state. Case made remarkable discoveries about this link. Digestive problems in a dog often point to a human who has difficulty digesting life situations. The dog is absorbing and processing the energies their person cannot. Skin problems can mirror a human's issues with self-image or vulnerability. The skin is our boundary with the world. Problems there can reflect difficulties with exposure and a sense of safety. Respiratory issues in a dog may reflect a human's feeling of being suffocated or oppressed, a sense that there is no room to breathe freely in their own life. And perhaps most touching, dogs who develop heart conditions often live with people who have a wounded or closed heart. They are, in a very real way, absorbing the emotional pain of their person. Dogs take on the illnesses of their companions as a form of spiritual service. The sleeping prophet explained, they would rather suffer in the body than see their humans suffer in the spirit. This revelation bestows upon us a deep responsibility. When our companion becomes ill, beyond seeking physical care, we must look within. What emotional or spiritual part of my own life is crying out for healing? Often, as we begin to do our own inner work, our dogs begin to mysteriously recover. But the mirror also works in a positive way. A joyful, balanced dog is often a reflection of a human who is living in harmony with themselves. An affectionate, social dog mirrors a person who is open to giving and receiving love. Your dog's personality also reveals your own undeveloped gifts. If your dog is remarkably intuitive, it's likely you possess psychic gifts you are not using. If it is fiercely protective, you may have a natural gift as a healer or guardian for others. The ancient wisdom taught that we can accelerate our own spiritual growth by consciously observing the mirrors our dogs provide. Instead of seeing their behaviors as problems to be fixed, we can ask, what is this teaching me about myself? When we begin to see our dogs as mirrors of our soul, the entire relationship is transformed. They cease to be problems to be solved and become lessons to be learned. Have you ever had the feeling that your dog was reading your mind? This communication does not depend on words or gestures, the teaching explains. It happens on a different channel. It is a flow of thought, waves, of mental images, of direct energetic transmission between two fields of consciousness. Dogs are natural masters of this telepathic language because they never unlearned it. As humanity developed verbal language, our more ancient, intuitive abilities of communication became dormant. But dogs have kept this pure channel open. They do not just receive our thoughts and emotions. They are constantly sending us information. The only problem is that most of us have forgotten how to listen. Let's begin with experiences you have almost certainly had. You are in one room and you simply think about feeding your dog. Seconds later, it appears in the kitchen, waiting. It heard no sound. It saw no movement. It received your intention. You are feeling sad, but you are not showing it outwardly. Still, your dog approaches you, rests its head on you, offering a quiet comfort. It felt the shift in your emotional energy before it ever became a physical expression. Your dog becomes restless and goes to the door minutes before you arrive home, even when your schedule is not regular. It is picking up on your intention to return, your energy moving towards home before your body does. The prophet explained that this communication occurs within what he called a shared field of consciousness. When you form a deep bond with your dog, you create a shared mental space where thoughts, emotions, and intentions can flow freely between you. This is not magic, it is spiritual physics. Consciousness operates at specific frequencies. When two beings tune their consciousness to the same frequency, communication without words becomes natural. You can consciously cultivate this ability. Here are some of the practices that were taught. Technique 1. Communication through mental images. Sit quietly with your dog nearby. Close your eyes. Clearly visualize an image of what you wish to communicate. If you want your dog to come to you, see a clear picture of it walking towards you and feeling happy about it. If you wish for it to be calm, visualize it lying down peacefully. Hold this image in your mind not with force, but with gentle focus, as if you were sending a picture from your heart to its heart. Technique 2. Transmission of emotion. Dogs are masters at reading emotional energy. You can communicate your intentions by generating a specific feeling state within yourself. If you want your dog to be calm, cultivate a genuine feeling of deep peace within your own body and energy field. If you want it to be alert, generate a feeling of focused attention. The key is to truly feel the emotion. Dogs respond to what you are, not what you are thinking. Technique 3. Communication through gaze. Look into your dog's eyes. Maintain a soft, gentle gaze, not an intimidating stare. Look with love and a clear intention. As you hold this connection, mentally project your message or feeling. The teaching discovered that direct, loving eye contact creates an instantaneous telepathic bridge. It is a sacred portal of communication. Technique 4. Ask mental questions and observe the response. You can ask your dog questions in your mind and then learn to observe the response. It may come as a subtle body movement, a shift in its energy, or even an image or feeling that arises in your own mind. Ask mentally, "Are you feeling well?" and simply observe. Ask, "What you like to go outside?" and watch for the answer. Trust the first impression, the first feeling you receive in return. This telepathic connection goes far beyond simple requests. The Prophet revealed that our dogs often attempt to communicate vital information about our own health, our future, and our spiritual well-being. They may try to warn us of illness before symptoms manifest. If your dog persistently sniffs or licks a specific area of your body, pay attention. It may be alerting you to an energetic imbalance that needs your awareness. When your dog has an inexplicable aversion to a person, it is reading information from that person's energy field that you cannot consciously perceive. Trust its intuition. They can also sense the energetic shifts that precede major life events. If your dog is behaving unusually for no clear reason, it may be feeling a significant change that is on its way. The most touching revelation from the sleeping prophet about our canine companions is about their role as spiritual healers. Dogs, he revealed, are divine instruments of healing. They have the ability to absorb trauma, to dissolve energetic blockages, and to restore emotional balance in their human companions. This is one of their most sacred purposes. If you have ever navigated a difficult time in your life and felt an inexplicable comfort from your dog's presence, you have experienced this healing firsthand. It was not merely emotional support. It was a literal transmission of healing energy through the channel of your loving connection. Dogs possess a natural ability that most humans have lost. They can absorb negative and dense energy without being permanently harmed by it. They function as conscious energy sponges, drawing in emotional density and transmuting it into light. Let's understand how this healing occurs. When you are moving through a deep pain, grief, heartbreak, fear, your dog automatically senses the dissonance in your energy field. It will draw close, and through physical touch or simple proximity, it will begin to absorb that dense, traumatic energy. Have you noticed how your dog stays closer when you are sad? How it seems to want to be touching you? It is not just offering comfort. It is literally drawing the energetic pain out of your system. After absorbing this negative energy, dogs process it through their own auric fields. The ancient wisdom explained that they have a natural ability to transform density into light. They are spiritual alchemists, turning emotional lead into spiritual gold. After processing the energy, they return it to their companion in a purified, coherent form. This happens through their affection, their calm presence, even their loving gaze. This is why you feel better after spending time with your dog when you are hurting. You have received a literal energetic healing. This is not a beautiful fantasy. It is a real, tangible energetic process. Many people report that after emerging from a difficult period, they realized that their dog's constant, quiet presence was the anchor that allowed them to heal. The teaching identified different kinds of healing our dogs offer. For anxiety, they are masters. They radiate an energy of the present moment. They are not worried about tomorrow. They are not lamenting yesterday. Their energy naturally soothes our nervous systems and calls us back to the now. For depression, their vital energy is a natural antidote. They radiate pure joy, enthusiasm, and love without condition. This luminous energy slowly dissolves the heaviness of depression. For trauma, they are profound healers because they offer a space of complete emotional safety. They do not judge or criticize. Their unconditional presence creates a safe container where old wounds can finally surface and be healed. For loneliness, the deep connection we form with them heals the core wound of separation. They teach us that we are worthy of unconditional love, that we are never truly alone. This healing process intensifies during sleep. The Prophet revealed that when we sleep near our dogs, a deep energetic synchronization occurs. Our auric fields align, and healing takes place on the most subtle levels. During sleep, the barriers of the conscious mind are down, he explained. That is when the deepest healing can occur. A dog sleeping near its human is actively working on the healing of soul wounds. This is why many feel an instinctual pull to sleep with their dogs. It is not just for comfort. It is a need for energetic healing. This healing is not limited to the emotional. They can stimulate physical healing as well. The very vibration of a dog's calm, breathing, and heartbeat can have a harmonizing effect on our cells. A dog's body heat is not merely physical, it is energetic warmth. When they lay on a painful area of our body, they are offering a healing heat that can support regeneration. They also intuitively know where to apply gentle pressure, sometimes activating energy meridians in our bodies, much like acupuncture. It was also discovered that different breeds can have different healing specialities. Large dogs can be wonderful for healing deep traumas, providing a feeling of physical safety and security. Smaller dogs are often excellent for healing anxiety and issues of self-worth. Calm, quiet dogs are ideal for healing stress and hyperactivity. Energetic, playful dogs are perfect for healing depression and a lack of motivation. The most extraordinary part is that they perform this service consciously. They know what they are doing. They deliberately choose to absorb our pain to help us. We, in turn, have a responsibility to help them cleanse. Spending time in nature, joyful play, and offering them our own unconditional affection helps them to process and release the dense energies they have taken on for us. It is our way of repaying the sacred service they provide. When we understand that our dogs are spiritual healers, our gratitude for their presence deepens into reverence. They are not our pets. They are four-legged angels dedicated to our healing and to our awakening.